Welcome to the Ravens Space. Thank you so much for joining us today. Today we're going to do an all-pro or heck no with the latest news that the Ravens offered Lamar Jackson more than Kyler, but it wasn't guaranteed. Let's go.
Finna run a Boston, dripping like a faucet. Haters get a ball, look at me stunt. I don't do it often, boy, I'm sick. Excuse my cough.
Thank you for joining us. We're going to hop right into it. Please like, share, subscribe. We appreciate you, so we hope you appreciate us.
Lamar Jackson trying to get his contract from the Baltimore Ravens. Jay Glazer last night during the pregame portion of the Ravens-Cardinals preseason game said that the Ravens have offered Lamar Jackson more than Kyler Murray. The issue, obviously, is the Deshaun Watson contract. He got $46 million fully guaranteed for 5 years, $230 million fully guaranteed for Watson.
I'm going to just give you – I don't know what they're going to say. I haven't seen this. I'm going to just give you my opinion. Pay football players guarantee money. I do not care about the best interest of billionaires that much, to be 100% honest with you, especially in football where every team that's been bought is worth 3 times more than it was bought for. So I'm not worried about that. Pay, football players, to be fair, I love the game of football. I really do. But the truth is it's dangerous, and these players are getting CTE, a lot of stuff, and pay them the guarantee money. And if you don't want them, let them walk. It's just that simple. Lamar is worth it guaranteed, and I don't like all the things that general managers do. Like, for example, if you look at Kyler Murray's contract, the agent and the team are going to say, "Oh, we're paid Kyler Murray $300 million, whatever." But the truth is that half of that is incentive based. It's not guaranteed if they cut you early, so you're not ever probably going to see any of that if you're not good. And so it's like, let's just trick people and trick everyone to thinking that we are giving our player what they deserve. And I don't like that. I would rather you do a Kirk Cousins thing now, where you just if you don't want Lamar for 5, give Lamar 3 years fully guaranteed. But it's a market, so if I don't know, I'm trying to think of a team. There's a lot of great quarterbacks in the league right now, so it's hard to find one. If the Texans, want to offer Lamar fully guaranteed for 5 years, hey, you lose. That's the name of the game. That is what contracts are. And so if you really have a player first mentality like I do, you want to see players get fully guaranteed contracts, even if it means less years, because again, there's a difference between budgeting when you know you're going to get 60 million. And again, I know I'm talking about millions, so much more than I make for sure. And so versus when you think you're going to get 60 million, but they cut you 2 years in because you played bad and you only get 10 million. So, and remember, if you leave early, the team doesn't get any pain, only you. So.
Watson, Murray's got 46.1 on a 5-year extension, 2 years tacked onto it. It becomes a different deal altogether. So you could easily get Lamar Jackson to 46.2 and say you're paying him more than Kyler Murray. But if it's not all guaranteed at signing and you absorb the 2022 season at $23 million, I did the math last night. It works out to something like $42 million a year on a 6-year deal. If you give him 5 years, $46.2 million on top of the one that he still has left. And so far he hasn't taken it. And look, as Glazer said, it's an uphill battle. And it is, because Lamar Jackson is representing himself. He's trying to get ready for the season. Teams got the warning last week from the league. If a guy represents himself, the only person you should talk to is the player, no one else, no family members, no agents. If you
Mike Florio does this, that's not why it's uphill battle. The contract would be signed right now if they said fully guaranteed. Let's be real. You know what I'm saying? Let's not be phony with this. Fully guarantee it and it's done. Don't fully guarantee it, it's not done.
He's representing himself. It's just him. That makes it even harder to get a deal done. I still think they're not going to get a deal done.
It makes it harder to fleece someone when you are dealing with a person who is trying to make money as well, right? if Lamar never gets a deal done and he has an agent, the agent is going to be like, all right, Lamar, come on, let's get real. And I'm for agents. I'm for all that stuff. Again, I'm going to let you guys know, my personal life, I work as a consultant, right? People make money when I work, okay, and it's not just me, right? So I'm cool with having someone help you out and represent you and things like that, but I'm not cool with trying to shadow the facts, right? What is this really about? It's really about guarantees. That's all it's about. So,
But there's 20 days left, and maybe at some point Lamar Jackson recognizes I got to take the best offer they give me because I don't want to continue to carry this injury risk.
I just that's where I look at it. I mean, I just wouldn't have plain and simple have the marbles to turn it down. I mean, it's something I heard weeks ago that he's been offered more guaranteed money in the history of the sport other than Deshaun Watson. And of course that, contract is weird to say the least. Okay. But that's where I just go, wow, are you going to really leave? I don't know what the exact number is, 180, 190, 200 million guaranteed on the table with the style of football that you do play, Lamar Jackson. I would certainly be in your corner going, no, please don't. Let's just take this. All right. And move on with life. And like you said, put the injury risk back onto the Baltimore Ravens. Especially with the way you play, and you've already taken some hits in your career, so that's where I worry about him. I really root for him that, as far as staying healthy and being the Lamar Jackson. Remember, come on, who's more fun to watch,
Okay. I will say this. That does change my opinion a little bit. If you're offering more guaranteed money than everyone in the history of football other than Deshaun, but again, he's better than Deshaun. You know what I'm saying? He also, doesn't have 40 people accusing him of things like Deshaun. So, his value is higher than Deshaun's. Again, say what you want to say. When Lamar Jackson's a starting quarterback for the entire season, he's never had a losing record. Deshaun Watson was a starting quarterback for the entire season and had 4 wins. So, let's be real.
On a Sunday or a Monday night than Lamar Jackson running around doing crazy stuff. He's awesome. So the thing that's encouraging, and I'm with you, I don't think it gets done, but, just watching the game last night, it sounds like it's not affecting much as far as his practice habits, his concentration, as far as the football aspect.
Lamar's
everybody spoke so highly of him, the fact he's so focused and locked in. So that's a good thing. But, man, I just wish he'd take the money or at least get an agent. I know that.
Well, and he's locked in because this is contract year, so he knows.
Yeah, he's ready.
If they're not going to give him what he wants, there's only one way to get what he wants, and that's go out there and have his best season ever. The problem is he could get injured along the way. There could be things that he doesn't control. All it takes is one fluke hit, and there goes that contract. The Ravens won't want to give it to you. No one will want to give it to you if you're not healthy enough to play. If there are questions.
And sorry, that is BS. I'm sorry. I can't. I don't know. That's BS. That's not true. We seen Dak Prescott get money, and Dak Prescott is nowhere as good as Lamar Jackson. I'm sorry, Dak Prescott has never been as good as Lamar Jackson. Dak Prescott has always had team members who were the top of the line. He's had arguably the best offensive line in football the last decade. He's had a top 5 running back. Now, again, Zeke is falling off, okay, but he's had star receivers, on his team. So let's stop with these lies. This is the issue with football players and the football media, is that because it's always been a way, they keep on portraying that way. That's why the football union sucks, because everyone is scared to take a loss. And Lamar is not scared to take a loss. Shout out to Lamar. And guess what? Lamar knows that, let's say Lamar gets hurt again, right? And let's say what happens to Lamar happens to Dak Prescott. He goes from 40 million guaranteed to 30 million guaranteed. You can still feed your family on 30 million, right? The downside is not as much as people want to think it is. Just if Lamar gets injured, when he heals back up, he's not going from 30 million or 40 million to zero. That's not true. And we have to stop with the lies. We
Questions
have to
about
stop.
when you'll be 100% or anything close to it. And even then, who knows? You may have to do a 1-year deal and prove yourself. You get yourself into the Jameis Winston vortex where it's short-term contract until you finally get a chance to prove yourself again. That could be where Lamar Jackson is if he ends up suffering a serious injury. And I feel bad even saying it. I hate to be.
Again, this is not true. Jameis Winston threw the most interceptions ever, I think. Like that is why he's on 1-year deals, because people don't know if he's good enough, right? We all know Lamar Jackson is good enough for your team to be a playoff team every year. We know that. People know that you can sell seats with Lamar Jackson. He will not. This is what I'm saying. This is not real, guys. Don't. Come on, let's be honest here. Florio,
jinxed him. But
not being honest. Come on.
We know what the sport entails, and we know that of all the guys out there, Lamar Jackson is the quarterback who is at the highest risk because of the way that he plays. And I've had conversations. I've been doing this 20 plus years now. You talk to different agents from time to time about deals, and you try to kind of gently say, well, why do you maybe some are saying that many are saying you could have gotten more than you did. And there's a point where you have to just put the sword down, and you have to say, look, what they're offering, when you look at this offer, do I want more? Yeah. Can I get more? But would I tell my son not to take this? And that's the litmus test I've heard time and again. Yeah, you know what? I'd like to get more. But if this was offered to my son and I understood the risks of not taking it, I wouldn't be able to tell him to not take it. I'd have to tell him to take it. Even though I think I can get him more, I'd have to tell him to take this.
This is generational, life-changing money. This is the type of money where your great grandkids are going to be, they're going to be good because of what you do. As long as he doesn't buy too many more gold chains, I mean, which was hilarious last night.
Mark Andrews, hold their value. If they hold their value, it's better than buying a car.
Hey. The gold chains is icy, baby. The gold chains is icy. Listen, the gold chains is icy. Sorry, no, I can't get with you on that one, Chris. No, that might be a heck no. I can't get you on that one, Chris. Them gold chains is icy. I wish I could afford some.
You're right. It is. I'm just having fun. But Mark Andrews with one that he bought. I mean, but yes, I mean that's where it just my stomach gets in a knot thinking about it. It does. So I hope someone can come to the realization, his mother, himself, whatever here, that okay, maybe it's not the deal I wanted. Maybe I didn't get every last dollar I wanted. But still, you lost out on $25 million guaranteed. What can't you not get with the $190 million that you're going to get? Plus, again, the rest of the contract, hopefully going to get all of that money at some point. Franchise quarterbacks, what we're seeing for the most part, this type of player, they're seeing the full capacity of the contracts. I mean, really, I can't think of too many that are not, right? The league is set up to protect them, but he plays a dangerous style, and it is a little different.
Anybody doesn't, it's him. That's the problem.
That is the problem.
And that's, you don't need to guarantee franchise quarterback contracts because you're not going to. If you're the team that recognizes he's a franchise quarterback, you don't just suddenly become not a franchise quarterback. Once you have reached that level, you're earning the money, and it doesn't need to be guaranteed. You're going to keep getting it. But for Lamar Jackson, there's that risk of an injury that would dramatically affect his availability or his performance, and the Ravens possibly would want to move on.
Do you think right? Yeah, I know they could. You're right. And I mean, I wonder sometimes does Dak Prescott embolden them? Like Dak Prescott's foot was pointing, south towards Mexico, and it's.
Thank you for bringing it up. Thank you. That has to be something, guys. We cannot ignore that. Dak Prescott literally had the worst injury a quarterback who runs the ball could have, and came back and makes gobs of money. And so if your worst case scenario is I get a Dak Prescott contract, hey, take it.
It's okay. Here's still $45 million or $40 million a year. So that was a gruesome part to where he still got paid. And I don't know. Again, I think Lamar Jackson does not get quite the credit he deserves for the thrower and his ability to make plays in the pocket. But yes, it would certainly hurt his ability to escape and make crazy plays that way.
Here's the reality, though, and this is where a seasoned, effective, and competent agent would be able to explain the differences to Lamar Jackson. Dak Prescott was a 4th-round pick. Dak Prescott had finished his rookie contract. He had done 1 year under the franchise tag, and he had the Cowboys over a barrel in year 2 of the franchise tag because there's no way they were going to do it a 3rd time.
Yeah, that's
so
right.
Year 2 was it. You're getting a deal done, or this guy's becoming an unrestricted free agent next year. And if you want to keep him, you're going to have to compete with everyone else who may want him. And the Cowboys didn't want to do it, so they did a 4-year, $160 million deal. And the way it's negotiated, I think after this season, they better start thinking about redoing it. Deshaun Watson, a once-in-a-generation set of facts, maybe even more rare than that, where he's on a team that's already paid him. He wants out. They want to move him. You throw this off-field stuff on top of it, and then he's kind of, sort of, not really exonerated, but it creates a land rush of 4 teams to try to get him. And the first team he tells, get the hell out of here, gets desperate and puts together a package that he can't refuse.
Yeah.
Well, Lamar Jackson's never going to be in that situation. Those facts are never going to, especially all of the.
Why? Well, but why is that? This is what I'm saying. You can't just say things, right? And again, I like Mike Florio for the most part. Why they're desperate teams every single year? So why wouldn't a desperate team give Lamar Jackson what he's looking for? I don't get it. I really don't. Because again, Lamar Jackson is better than Deshaun Watson. Guys, I'm sorry. He just is. Deshaun Watson has never won an MVP. Deshaun Watson has never, I don't even know if he's won a playoff game. I really don't, I'm trying to think. And he has stacked teams. He's never performed to the level of Lamar ever. And he's definitely never carried a bad team to 8-3 like Lamar did when the team was injured. We were bad last year, guys, other than Lamar. When Lamar left, we lost every game. I think except for one. So come on, guys. Come on. Let's hate a man.
It's never going to happen again.
The idea
that Lamar Jackson's going to be in a spot where he's got 4 teams at the table. He tells one, get the hell out of here, and it reacts by saying, let's give this guy the best contract.
But is that fair?
Guaranteed money.
Is that fair?
No, but
because
I know. It's not fair, but it is.
I know, because I understand where you can be like, well, hey, that's the market now. You talk to one of your oligarchs over there. He screwed it up.
That's right.
I know. That's where I'm a little. That's
the response.
That is the response.
If you have an agent,
right.
It's easier to articulate that.
Yeah.
It's easier to say, hey, you know. We know how this works.
Yeah, Watson ain't going to the playoffs.
Bar keeps going up
every year like I am. He didn't win the MVP like I did. Yeah.
Tell him, Chris. Tell him.
It came to be.
Yeah.
It is.
Yes.
Doesn't matter.
I know.
If the Browns are stupid, it doesn't matter if they were, drinking beer for the 12 o'clock Matthew Berry show. It doesn't matter.
Right.
It doesn't matter how it got there.
Yeah, it's there.
And that applies more broadly than football. The market's always changing, and doesn't matter how it got there, it's there.
Right. Like, hey, $20 million for somebody to announce a football game? $20 million.
That's crazy.
Now there's a guy making $37 million. He doesn't even announce a damn game yet. Right. So, I don't know. That's exactly. The reality is that's where it is. And that's why, and again, I'm not taking anything away from Lamar Jackson. Maybe he can make that argument on his own. I could have never made that argument at 25 years old, 26 years old, especially when my focus is football. Yeah.
You need somebody who can say to Steve Bisciotti, Eric DeCosta, John Harbaugh, whoever, no, I don't care. I know that you're trying to tell me how this Deshaun Watson thing is once in a generation. It doesn't matter. It happened. That's the bar now. And if you want Lamar Jackson under contract, you got to give him the same thing, plus a little bit. That's just how it works. Sorry, take it up with your business partner, Jimmy Haslam, who decided to cross a boundary that everyone else had refused to cross. Yeah. So I agree with you. It shouldn't matter, but it's hard without an agent to make that point as fervently and convincingly as Lamar Jackson otherwise could. By the way, I think sometimes when you're on live TV, you can misspeak. You can say postseason instead of preseason, like I did earlier. Kurt Menefee last night on the Fox pregame with Sean Payton and Jay Glazer from directors' chairs on the sideline of the State Farm Stadium. Menefee said that Lamar Jackson's gained 25 pounds this offseason. It's like I about fell out of my chair. 25 pounds? He hasn't gained 25 pounds. It's more like 10 or 12. I don't know if he just misspoke. But it turned into, I don't think he misspoke, because then Sean Payton reacted to it saying, mix in a salad sometimes. You're getting a little bit too big. There's a point where you're too big as a quarterback, but there's a big difference between 25 and 10 or 12. And
Yeah.
he went to the weight room. He put.
And there's also a difference between fat and muscle. Okay. I need to lose, 25 pounds of fat, but man put on 25 pounds of muscle. Get off his back.
Put on some lean muscle mass. That's what he's trying to do.
Right.
It's not 25 pounds. I immediately texted someone who would know. It's like, is this 20? Did he put on 25 pounds? No, he didn't put on 25 pounds.
Well,
10 or 12 pounds.
Yeah. I mean, 25 is enormous. Now, I will say in his little interview on the sideline, who's the damn sideline reporter now there? I'm blanking on his name. Used to be with ESPN.
Tom Rinaldi.
Tom Rinaldi. Way to go. He did say to Lamar, "You put on 18 pounds." So,
I missed that one.
That's significant, and yeah. Lamar he didn't correct him. It is significant, certainly, but again, Lamar has been that wiry, skinny guy where I think he's naturally ripped and whatever else. And who knows what he weighed at the end of the year last year when he was hurt and maybe couldn't work out. So maybe it's from there as compared to maybe what it might have been at the start of the preseason last year. But hey, it's a guy that, needs a little armor on him, like we talk about. And as long as it's not affecting his speed and all of that, then go for it. Certainly. He's a freak of nature. He's probably one of those guys that doesn't need to work out or lift too much weights to put weight on. But what I always do worry about a little is, hey, Lamar Jackson's body was intended to be, a certain size. Like, I sit here and I'm not trying to be a jerk, but think about Zach Wilson. Oh, he looks beefy. He looks great. Oh, we know what beefy got him? He stuck his foot in the ground with nobody touching him and his knee gave out. And those are the things I worry about at times.
That's a fair point.
When I hear guys, he's trying to get too big.
I'm not mad
well, is the rest of his body ready to be that big when he's got to make these cuts and all of that? But I would bet you he gets more and more shape as we go along here. But he certainly looks thicker. Him and Trevor Lawrence are battling it out for the thickest quarterback necks I've ever seen in history.
The Takeo Spikes Award. They're
right.
both. I mean, they're both
right.
neck and
That's
neck.
If y'all remember
In the
Takeo
running
Spikes,
to have the Takeo Spikes gigantic neck. And you noticed it recently with Lawrence. And I noticed it in some of the pictures that I've seen recently.
They rambling now, so I'm gonna cut it. So too many points that I didn't agree with. I'm gonna give it a.
You suck.
Gotta give it a heck no. So again, thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe, like, share. Thank you guys so much. And go Ravens.